Hi everybody, welcome back to Bensell Greenhouse. This is our part 2 for container gardening. The last video that we had, we talked with Matt Ross from Toledo Botanical Gardens, and he and I shared some of the plants that we liked when we put our plants together, our plantings together in the different pots that we choose. And today I wanted to walk you through the greenhouse and talk a little bit about 3 different types of plants that would be a really good choice, interesting choices for you to use when you're doing your container gardening. The first set of plants we're going to look at is our annual flowering plants. The second set I'd like to take a look at is just our regular foliage plants, not necessarily significant flowers, but very nice greenery, nice foliage. And then the third items that we're going to look at is we'll walk into our herb aisle and we'll take a look at our herbs and some of the different uses you can have there. So why don't we walk down this aisle, aisle number 3, and take a look at some of the flowering annuals that we have, and we'll talk a little bit about what you might see when you put your containers together. We've got some nice flowering geraniums up here. Of course, geraniums come in all different colors, white, orange, red. There's a two-tone colors. We've got the fuchsias. We've even got the new sun patience over here, again, some pinks and oranges. Our lantanas, which are just starting to pop over there. We tend to pinch our plants a little bit so that they continue to branch, but the flowers are very, very pretty. So when you walk into the greenhouse and you're taking a look at some of the flowering annuals, make a mental note of the different colors that you like. One of the rules that we try to follow here with our flowering plants is 3 colors and a white. So you don't want to get so busy that you have every color that you like, but just choose 3 different colors, and a white always makes those colors pop. So let's continue on down the aisle and take a look at not only our flowering annuals, but some of the leaf colors that you'll find, like these brocade geraniums. Not only do you get beautiful flower colors with these, but the leaf color is very unique. And this is something that we would like you to think about when you come in, is to look at the color of the leaf. And they can be somewhat busy, but your other plants that you're going to choose, you're going to want to try to make a mental note of these brocade colors so that you don't get so confused, or your container doesn't look so confusing. We'll keep walking and take a look at some of the other flowering plants. We've got the coleuses. Of course, they flower. The new sun coleus is here. We've got the glassworks variety. This one's called copper. We've got the tilt-a-whirl. We've got hot lava. Those are just beautiful. A lot of people like to put those together all on their own. We've actually put the yellow bidens over next to some of these coleuses because the yellow is so striking next to some of the leaf colors. And we've even got again, some straw flowers, a few more geraniums. Those that aren't really blooming too much right now. Our lime coleuses over here that look very beautiful with some of the burgundies and the copper colors. And then one of my favorite plants that we have down here is the purple heliotrope. We talked about this on the last video with Matt, and we talked about, flower choices that not only offer you color, but heliotrope also offers you vanilla scent, as well as it's one of the top plants for attracting butterflies. So think about that if that's something that you wanted to put together. If you're thinking about a butterfly garden, you can also do a butterfly container garden, and heliotrope would be a terrific choice, especially with the purple flowers and the nice fragrance that you'll get with it. So why don't we stop here? We've talked a little bit about some of the annuals, and why don't we go over to some of the foliage plants that we've chosen for some of the containers. Okay, so now we're back in the foliage aisle. This is where we have a lot of our ivies. We've got variegated ivy, we've got the green English ivy, we've got ivy of every different shape. Here's an ivy that's shaped like a heart. We use these a lot. People really love ivy. It's a very low light plant. It takes a little bit of abuse. But if you're looking for like an English style garden or an elegant look, ivy's always a good choice. It's a beautiful trailer, and again, you can choose some different color foliage in all your plantings. Got a lot of different ivies of different sizes here. Let's take a look at this wandering Jew. We've got the green and yellow wandering Jew, another I guess you would call this a spiller, but it does get some little tiny white flowers on it. But the green and yellow or green and white on this leaf is beautiful and amazing. Might be something you want to grab first and walk around and check some of your other flowering annual colors that would work well with this one. We of course have our oxalis, that is a good plant for your shade gardens. And then we talked a little bit about Guyerna, and that's the purple passion. This is just a beautiful, beautiful sun-tolerant purple color plant that does have some little tiny orange flowers, but again, not very significant. You usually choose this plant mainly for its foliage. Another one of our favorites, Cuban oregano. This too offers you some very unique flavors and very unique fragrances. Really interesting plant, upright growth. One of our favorites here. Another one is, this one is just absolutely amazing. Plectranthus emerald lace, beautiful trailer, not too high. Silver foliage is gorgeous. It's got a red underside. And this plant is also something that you can move into the house later in the season. So we've got a lot of different green foliage plants, a lot of different areas that you can use them in, either the sun, shade, or part sun, part shade. We've got the pillias, all sorts of pillias, German ivy, Swedish ivies. Here's a pillia pink, that's another one. And then we kind of have some of our lower light ferns that really offer some great choices. Not a lot of flowing foliage through your containers. And this one is new to us. It's called the Western Queen Fern. I think a lot of people might be familiar with Kimberly Queen, but this one is a Western Queen. It's a little bit a brighter green color, but an upright growth. And when we go back and do another video, we'll talk a little bit about how we use this plant when we do our container plantings. We've got a lot of different ones. Elkhorn ferns, the bird's nest ferns, possum fern, any type of pawed fern, your kangaroo paws, your bear paws, and your rabbit paw ferns, and they all make just beautiful, beautiful plants, real flowing plants for some of those shade gardens that you wanted to put together. So a lot of different choices. Again, we're always willing to help you when you come in. Let's take a look at the herb aisle, because that's another unique choice for everyone. Okay, now we're in the herb aisle, and I don't want anyone to forget about some of these beautiful herbs, because not only do they offer you some great foliage and often very beautiful flowers, but kind of unique that you can get them in your containers and use them to cook with, or a great fragrance. If people put these next to your front door, if people brush up against them, they often smell the flowers. And the one that I have in here in my hands is called, this is a thyme, it's called Foxley. This is new to us here at the greenhouse, but very beautiful, very elegant. I think this would be a really nice choice to put in the containers. Very full, flowing, and offers you some wonderful fragrance. We've got a couple of other different thymes. I'll have you walk down. We've got the English thyme, your little mini thyme, and another one of my favorites, which is this beautiful variegated lemon thyme. It smells like lemon, and it's got a little bit smaller leaf, but is very elegant looking. We've got St. John's wort, which offers beautiful trailing leaves. And of course our tricolor sage. This is a nice heat-tolerant plant that has some purple and pinks to it. Would be very pretty, partnered with some pink geraniums or pink viburnum. We've got sages. This sage, pineapple sage, it's too bad you couldn't smell, but this is just awesome to cook with. Beautiful flowers. Smells terrific and would give you that upright growth that you might want in place of a spike in your container. We've got some oregano. We actually have a new one called Zorba Red that has a great red and purple flower. It's a beautiful trailing plant. It would be perfect just by itself or partnered with some other heat-tolerant plants. We've got Kent Beauty Oregano. And if you can just kind of zoom in on this, the leaf on this plant is so pretty, and it gets a beautiful pink flower that attracts hummingbirds. This is also a perennial and makes a great border plant, so not an edible herb, but an ornamental herb, and those are some terrific choices. Something very different if you're looking for a unique look. So don't forget about the herbs. So when you go into a greenhouse or come on in and take a look, walk the herb aisle and see what plants you might want to choose for container gardening. And so what we'll do is our next video is we'll grab some of these plants that we've talked about, we'll put them together in a couple different styles and show you how unique they are in each of the different types of containers.